Hey everyone, Couch Investor back on our video for today. In today's video, let's talk a bit about PayPal. Earnings season is approaching in about a month or so. It's been a while since we talked about PayPal, and I thought, hey, it's a popular company on this channel, so let's cover the state of the company today. We've got some news with regards to, the overall retail e-commerce market. I'm going to go over some estimates from analysts for this year, and then a bit of a comment on the Apple and also on the Cash App side. So if you're interested in that, hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button as well, as it really helps out the channel. So first things first, these are the estimates for PayPal right now. So as you can see here, for the fiscal year 2022, most analysts think it would grow or not grow, negative 11.79%. But on the positive side, for fiscal year 2023, they do see a growth of 17.55%. Now, this is also one of the positive things for companies like PayPal. 2022 was such a bad year that 2023 doesn't even have to be such an extraordinary year for it to look much better, for those year-over-year comparisons to be, beatable. We can say the same actually for a company like Pinterest. 2022, at first we saw monthly active users go down. So in the first half of 2023, what you might see is a nice growth year over year, but that's just because the comparisons year over year are pretty easy to beat. And so going back to PayPal here, we can see that earnings per share in the next 12 months is at around $4.61. And for the next earnings report, they expect revenue to grow around 7.86%, EBITDA 8.48%, EBIT 7.51%, but EPS on a GAAP basis to be down 27% year over year, and EPS to be up 10.34%. Now, of course, with PayPal now, the whole excuse of, eBay is completely out the door. Of course, there has been some weakness because of the Apple Pay, but according to some analysts, that should be over right now. We're going to cover that in just a bit. But first, if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to follow.com/couchinvestor. Make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment as well. So going back to the state of PayPal right now. Over the year, it's down 60%. Revenue for the last 12 months was $27 billion. Free cash flow positive. As always, in the last 12 months, it's now at $5.66 billion. So still a solid compounder on the free cash flow side. Now, return on equity, still positive, 10.86%. Gross profit margin has come down, obviously, so has return on equity. Let's see if we can have some margin expansion in 2023. That's what management said. Now, let's see if they can execute on that plan. And now from a PE to growth standpoint, in the next 12 months, we're still not on the cheapish side. We're now close to 3. Usually you want it to be around 1. 1 is actually very cheap. Obviously, if you look at the history of PayPal when it comes to that valuation metric, yes, it is low, but it has been much lower as well. Now, when it comes to the Apple Pay issue, so popular analyst here that has been following PayPal has been following Square as well. So Mizuho analyst Dan Dolev says assessing PayPal's share of outgoing web traffic across major US merchants shows that trends may have begun to stabilize in recent months. This is particularly visible in mobile web traffic data, where PayPal is most vulnerable to Apple Pay checkout on the iPhone. He believes share loss to Apple Pay has been haunting the stock in 2022. While this is only one perspective, we believe it could help improve sentiment. The analyst reiterates a buy rating on the shares with a $105 price target. We also had an upgrade to outperform from neutral at Exane BNP Paribas with a price target of $100. And before that, we had an upgrade at Truist PayPal to buy, as he sees investors a bit too negative. So that analyst upgraded his price targets from $75 to $95. The analyst contends that investors have been too negative on the stock given the company's durable long-term organic revenue growth, as we've just seen before, and free cash flow as well. The analyst adds that PayPal's first mover advantage over 400 million users and superior merchant value proposition positions the company to keep pace with the market despite some branded share loss. The analyst also notes that his upgrade reflects his view that consensus revenue estimates are now reasonable. Now, with regards to that growth, and especially growth in retail e-commerce sales worldwide, we can have this graph right here. So this is between 2019 and 2025. So by the year 2025, we can see that the percentage of total resale sales would increase to 24.5%, and the percentage change is 9%, which will reach $7.38 trillion. Of course, that's great news for a company like PayPal, but we also had some comments from the CEO, Dan Schulman, which we can see right here. At a recent industry conference, CEO Daniel Schulman said that as you go into 2023, there's no reason to think it's going to get better. When referencing recent reports that global e-commerce likely didn't grow year over year in November and December 2022, they can obviously see this by comparing Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales year over year. Now, of course, we all remember what they said during the last couple of earnings calls, that they're now going after more lucrative users of PayPal, not the ones that just make one transaction, but ones that make multiple transactions, which makes sense. They're also focusing on growing Venmo. We know that Venmo and Amazon have partnered up. Let's hear more on that in the next earnings call. But the big thing here is obviously expenses, making sure that expenses are under control. And if you need a little reminder, we can have a bit more information here. So as for expenses, PayPal had said it would work on getting more efficient and remove $900 million in operating costs in 2022 and an additional $1.3 billion in 2023. Schulman says that plan is also running ahead of schedule. Would love to see expenses go down in the next report, which means probably also more leverage, more free cash flow, and maybe even more buybacks. Who knows? Now, with regards to last quarter's numbers, let's go over them real quick. So you can see here that net revenue grew 12% year over year to $6.85 billion on a non-GAAP basis. Operating income 4% year over year. EPS down 2%. But they did say here that they're very pleased to be working with Apple to enhance their offerings for their PayPal and Venmo merchants and customers. So maybe that reinforces a little bit the point that Dan Dolev said in his research note. And as I said before, you can clearly see here why PayPal is a solid compounder, especially when you look at operating cash flow or free cash flow. Both of them grew, well, quite nicely year over year. Operating cash flow up 29% year over year, free cash flow up 37% year over year. So that's great to see. Obviously, it's great to see this, but on the other side, you would like to see the overall business grow a bit more than it has in the last 2 years, well, a year and a half. And now to finish things off here, maybe on a more negative front, let's say these are the 10 most downloaded apps in 2022 in the United States. TikTok number 1, Instagram number 2, and look who's at number 3, Cash App with 64 million downloads, then WhatsApp, Snapchat, really have no clue why someone would download that, but okay. Then the rest, well, doesn't really matter for this video. But as you can see, Cash App, 64 million downloads. Now, apparently PayPal was downloaded. Here you can see a bit more information. So App Economy Insight, great account to follow on Twitter, says here that Cash App was downloaded more than PayPal, 31 million, and Venmo, 26 million combined. Now, of course, if you're a Square block investor like myself, this is extremely bullish. If you're a PayPal holder, well, this is probably not such great news. That doesn't mean that, well, those numbers for PayPal and Venmo aren't great. No, just mean that right now probably there's more momentum, more traction ongoing with Cash App. Let's see in the next quarterly earnings how those expenses are. Does Cash App, well, have they increased marketing and that's why downloads are up? Let's see the reason, but I'm more focused on what's going on with PayPal and are they keeping expenses under control? How's that partnership with Amazon going with regards to Venmo? How are those talks ongoing with Apple as well? Those are much more interesting right now than just maybe looking at the top 10 most downloaded apps. Now, of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below with regards to PayPal and everything you've heard in this video. What's your game plan for PayPal in 2023? What are your expectations for 2023 when it comes to PayPal? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.